Kirsten from JK Fiber Arts. Today we are going to do some spinning up of this gorgeousness right here. It is one of the bats that I made over the Christmas break, and it is made from that bag of Mills Ends. And I have more coming up, but I'm really dying to spin some of this stuff. It's awesome. Oh, which I also wanted to show you before I get too far into this. I just wanted to show you how cool this is coming along. So this is also from that bag of Mills Ends. Let me set this gorgeousness off to the side for a minute. This is the water lily that my daughter named. I keep the funky ones for me. So these are the funky roll eggs off of there. I have 3, and I just finished spinning the first one, and I wanted to show you how awesome this is. And I really enjoy spinning these type of roll eggs on the Turkish spindle because they look so pretty as they wind on. And I have some pictures of this up on Instagram if you want to see it kind of as it goes through in progress. I am loving this, and this is going to be a beautiful spin when I do it. It has this little silk sari in it, so it's going to have very lightly tweeted yarn. Here's some more of that sari here. And actually, this is more of that soft silk kind of a thing to it. But it's really cool. It's like a purpley gray pink, and then it goes into a very, very pale pink, and the very tiny tip at the end is white. And this was just finished that white tip, and then I started the next one spinning on this end. Doesn't that look so cool? I really love it. But I digress. But if you are interested, I have one set of these left up on my website. Now back to this goodness. So when I was doing a lot of the drum carting last week, week before last, it's been 2 weeks now, the bats were so pretty and I absolutely adored them that I made one for me before I used up all of that bag. So this is merino base, and it has the Mills Ends in there with all the locks, Teeswater and Wensleydale. And there's some silk in here. And I put some Angelina in here as well to give it a little bit of sparkle. And there's some pearl fiber that I put in here. So here is what we are looking at. I mean, seriously, look at this. I am so in love with this. And this is going to have a little bit of texture to it. The locks are going to give a nice halo when I spin them. And I did open the locks up for this one, but just, I can't wait. And then here's what the base looks like. I did this on a white base, and that was the base on the drum carter. And I have all the layers in between here that you can, well, actually I blended them so well it's hard to see, but they're in there. You can see that right there. So I think there's 3 or 4 layers in there. Let's get started with this. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I think I just want to 2-ply it. And this is about a 3.5 ounce bat. And this is going to be something beautiful. I think it's going to be a really nice cowl because this is next to skin soft. It is really lovely. So I'm going to split this, I think, in half, and we'll spin the single, and we'll see if I want to make it all woolen or if I want to do like a semi-worsted spin. Let's get to the wheel and see how this spins up, and we can always change our plan en route. We are ready with the gorgeousness. All I'm going to do is split this in half vertically, and I think that will be gorgeous. And then we're going to 2-ply it. And I did misspeak earlier. I said it was a 3.4 ounce bat or 3.5 ounce, but it's actually a 4.5 ounce bat. So that's awesome. I'm actually going to pop away for just a second here and see if I'm even close to dividing this into half. Well, that was pretty darn good. So by eyeballing, one was 63 and one was 62 grams. So I am not going to make any adjustments. That was perfect. So all I'm going to do here is we're going to spin this woolen. I know I was kind of debating. I'm just excited to see what this looks like. I mean, it's got just the right amount of sparkle. It's soft, it's floofy, it's got some texture in it. I'm very excited. The one thing that I'm uncertain of is whether or not I want to do it on my large whirl or my smaller whirl, but we're going to find out here in just a minute, because the base on this is merino. I'm not sure if I will need a higher speed, higher ratio, you know? So let's see what we got here. I literally took, I don't know if you can even see this on camera, but I'm doing this wonderful spin that I haven't done a video on, but it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. I've been kind of getting into the recycled wool with the silk sari, and this is called the blues, and I have a bunch of this, and I'm doing a big spin, like a half a pound spin for me for this one. And if I like it, I'm just going to keep going. I think I'm imagining that it's going to make a really pretty sweater. So I'm going to consider that. And I'm 3-plying, so it should end up being around a worsted weight, which I think will be nice for a sweater. Although I did this whole big dyeing thing, and I started knitting a sweater last year, maybe the year before last. It all kind of runs together. And I basically haven't even finished the neck yet. I'm so busy with the fiber stuff that I haven't had time to really do a lot of knitting, but it's on my radar. I will eventually get to it someday. All right, so let's see what we got here. So for those of you, we should probably do like a tiny bit of a beginner thing here. When I start, this is the leader here, and I'm probably a little bit lazier when it comes to the leaders. I reuse them a lot, and I tie them all in a loop, and I do a double chain the whole way through. So I loop it, tie a knot in the end, and do a little slip thing here, and then I slip it the other direction, and then I wind it off. And I have a video that shows that part, but the end result is that pretty much every one of my leaders, unless I break the knot, has a loop at the end. And the loop here is just so I don't have to retie it every time I want to chain ply something. So you don't have to like put your fiber through here to start, and I usually don't, unless I am chain plying, and then I will. So I do the hot dog technique. And what that is I take my leader in my right hand, and I take my fiber, and leaving a nice lead in here, I put it around my other fiber like it's a hot dog bun. And then I will start to slowly draft and let that kind of wind on to my yarn there. And then we're off and running. Now, the question that I currently have is whether or not, I think that the big whirl, the larger whirl, the slower ratio is going to be just fine for this. I'm just trying to get a feel for what we're going to get here and what I want. Oh, look at that. This is going to be so pretty. So what I want, yarn size wise, I always like it to be, you know, at least a worsted weight when I'm trying to knit outerwear. Occasionally I'll do a sport weight thing. So my single right now, and I'm going to be 3-plying this. No, I'm 2-plying this. So I'm going to be 2-plying this. And my this single right here is like a 14. That's pretty beefy. And when I do my ply back test here, that's going to give me a, now right now it's giving me an 8, so it'd be like an Aran weight yarn. Somewhere around in there, 6 to 8. It's not a 1-to-1 ratio, so if I spin a 14 single, my 2-ply isn't going to be a 7 WPI necessarily. I'm going to take a little bit of draw off this. There we go. So I think I want to go a little bit thinner with my single. Not too much thinner. So what I'm doing is, actually this is lovely. Let's see what this one is. I think we're probably still in that same area. So this is an 18 single, if you can see that. This is the hardest part of the whole video for me, is showing you these things. There we go. So that's an 18 single. And I think that is going to give me a little bit more of what I want. Oh, look at how pretty this is. Oh, I love that. Let's see. I know it's so fluffy, it's leaving fuzz on everything. I don't know if you can even see with my black background here, but I really like that. And the ply back test is something that we do to kind of give us an idea, if you're going to 2-ply, what your plied yarn is going to look like. If I don't stop and do a ply back test every now and then, you might end up with a single that's maybe too energized, or even worse, not energized enough. And then when you try to ply it, you're not going to have a balanced yarn. And you always wonder why some people have those lovely, everything looks like it's exactly the same angle of ply, and it's all the, it's not like loose in some spots and tight in others. That is because they have done a ply back test. So now, if you see here, this is, I like this ply back test. I have this little texture bit here, wind up here. So, and that was from a little bit of that lock. And the yarn is the same thickness. And then I just had this little floof there, and that was gonna give me some texture when I spin. And here we are, here's the 18 here, right there. And then I have this little floof. Now, if I didn't want that, I would try to like straighten it and pull on it, but I don't really want to because I think it's gonna look cool like that. So I'm leaving it. So the type of spinning that I'm doing right now is I'm sort of doing a short backward draw. Sometimes I start off short backward draw and then I end up doing a long draw. It doesn't matter. It's going to be a woolen spin and a woolen prep. So I'm going to have a light, fluffy yarn, and it's going to have a lot of loft, and it's going to be really warm because it's going to trap all that warmth in there, you know? It's going to hold the heat. And we had a little bit of snow last night. We were expecting like nothing, and we got maybe, oh, I don't know, probably an inch and a half or so. Nothing too terrible, but it was a lot of fun to play in this morning. Finny loved it. I thought I was going to get him in the background of the video this morning, but he, because he was sitting on the couch right when I was setting up and licking the ice balls off of his feet. But he decided to go somewhere probably warmer in the other room. Oh, and I got to wear, I don't know if you can see this on video, but my husband said he could see my shirt. But I love this. Isn't this the best knitting shirt ever? It says, oh, the weather outside is frightful, but this yarn is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, another row, another row, another row. I don't get to wear it enough because it doesn't snow that much here anymore. Now see, I drafted that, and it's a little too thin there. I got a little aggressive. So I'm going to just break it and try to add some to it. If you're doing this at home, typically what I would recommend, I'll just do it the right way. What you should do is break off this piece at the end that was twisted where it broke and get to an end that's just fuzzy like this. It's nice and fuzzy. And then take off the part here that had twist in it, which I just threw over there on the table, and make sure it's nice and light and fuzzy. And then put the hot dog technique again, like that. And then as the fibers start to catch, just draw back. And there you have your join. And you can see, I mean, you know where it was because we were just looking at it, but you can barely tell where that join was. So I am going to continue spinning this, and then I will be back here and check in just a minute as I get a little further along here so we can kind of see how this is working. But I would have to say, if you can see that bobbin, that everything looks lovely and uniform. And I love this little pink, kind of like the purpley pink and gray in there. And I know we've got some green and some turquoise coming up. I'm very excited. This is one of my favorite spins. This has turned out to be so awesome. I want to get back to the wheel. I wanted to show you as I was spinning it, and I got so enthralled, but I do have a little strip left, so we'll finish up with that. But you can see here, there's I have these little bits of texture that pop through. Not tons, but just the right amount. Here's a little bit of it over here. And oh my gosh, I just love this. I love it. I cannot wait for you guys to see the finished yarn. In fact, I'll probably finish this whole thing today. All right. And I'm going to show you here. So I have this little tiny bit left. And this piece was stuck to my slipper. And I was walking around with it, and I was like, oh, let me just put that back on here. So I'm just going to try to blend that in there like that. And let's continue on. And what I've been doing is this backwards draw, and it seems to be working very well. The Batt has been quite easy to draft from. I'm trying to stick around that 18 WPI. Sometimes I think I get a little bit too thick, but mostly we're sticking right at that 18. This spin has just been so awesome for me. I'm just tickled to death. This is exactly the kind of spins that I like and that I want from a Batt. It has a little bit of sparkle, it has a little bit of texture, not too much, but it's interesting, you know, it keeps your interest. And here comes a little lock there, and it just gives me a little bit of interest, and it's going to have some nice areas of texture whenever we ply this together. I'm very, very excited. And this is the stuff that was stuck to my shoe, so we'll see how this part spins here. Oh no, it's great. Here we are, the last strip of the first single. And again, why did that not draw on though? That's strange. Oh, my little bit of texture got caught in the hook. It didn't advance. There we go. So what I'm doing is, this is a little trick. You can spin the entire roving around and that'll take the twist out of it. If you saw, it started to coil up and it wasn't drawing, and I was like, what is happening? I've been spinning on this default mode for the whole time. It's been perfect. So if it's coiling up like this outside of your orifice and it's not drawing on, then typically if you've been spinning smoothly and have had no difficulty, look for something to be caught or snagged on one of your hooks, and that's probably your answer. But if you're just trying to get the ball rolling and it's bunching up outside, that means you need a little more draw or a little more tension, depending what type of tensioning system you have on your wheel, to pull it on to the bobbin a little more aggressively, because you're getting too much twist. I'm just about finished here, and then I will literally see you back in a second here, and we will get this two-plied. I think we'll two-ply on my Sonata upstairs tomorrow. I haven't been up there in a while, and maybe I'll let you pop in and see what my weaving is, how my weaving is coming. Here's a little behind-the-scenes peek of where it all started. This is what I call my escape room, and the escape room was where I would do all of my fiber crafting, but I have outgrown this room, and now I basically take over every other place in the house. But today we are going to be settling back to my favorite spot. And right now it's very crowded, and we'll do a little quick tour here so you can see what I'm working on that never makes it to video. Before we start plying this gorgeousness, back here we have my vertical Swift, and this is from Shepherd Woodworking, and it is one of my favorite things. I'm learning how to tablet weave through the Carroll County Fiber Artists Guild. Diana is our expert at this. She's amazing, and her husband built a whole bunch of these frames so we could each take one home to work on, and I'm having a lot of fun. I'm not perfect, but I'm really enjoying it, and I want to get better at it, so that's cool. And then over here we have my rigid heddle loom. This is my, it's the Knitter's loom from Ashford. It has different reeds, but I have it on the smaller one right now. I am weaving kitchen towels from my hand spun cotton. And over here we have, this is my hand spun cotton. I'm doing like a gray green progression. And I have my little bobbin winder for my shuttle bobbins. And what else over here? Oh, myriad of all kinds of random fibery related goodness things here. Here is one of my favorite little paintings that I got at Sheep and Wool many years ago. What else? Yarn that is for me, that I have plans for. The spinning wheel, of course, which we'll be seeing. This is my Kromsky Sonata. I have a little trunk here that has a bunch of fiber in it. And we are ready. So I'm just going to pull this through. Now what I use is, this is my auto level winder here. And it's from Level Winding Systems, and what that does is, let me slide this back to match, it will just make my bobbin even. This does not come with the Sonata wheel. it has the normal flyer and jumbo flyer that come with the Kromsky Sonata. However, I just switched out the flyer. This is a jumbo flyer. I switched out the jumbo for the auto level winder, and I love, love, love it. I am still waiting for them to make one for the Minstrel because I would buy it in a heartbeat. So let's get going. We're going to two-ply this, and we're going to start this the way we always do, which is I like to have my fiber, you should try to keep it as close to in line as you can with you. So behind me and to my left is where I'm trying to go, or at least as close to behind me as I can. I'm a little bit limited by the lack of space in my room. And I'm going to turn on my auto level winder here, and I am going to be plying in the counterclockwise position. And I'm just going to put this through my loop here to get started. And then I reach behind and I follow this up so there's no tangles in it. And we are off and running. And let's see if we like the amount of twist that we have here early on. And I'm going to say, wow, isn't that light and airy? I think I want a touch more twist to that. So I'm just going to add a little bit more and see if I like that. Yeah, I like that better. Oh, look how floofy that is. And of course, I left my lap blanket downstairs. I have to transfer all my stuff up here when I come up here to spin. But oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, we're going to keep on keeping on here. And then and as soon as we get this a little bit further, we'll check angle of ply. Actually, this is kind of a good spot to do it because you can see this dark brown. Let's just real quick stop at the beginning here. And that needs some more twist to it anyways. The other thing, the auto level winder, it'll catch up when you wind, but I usually will stop it if I'm going to measure. You don't have to. It'll actually catch back up. I like this. Let's see what we got here. So this is, and we are on the S. So we're looking in this quadrant here. So we are on the S right now. So we're about 15 in this area. I think we're going to be a little bit higher, obviously, in the narrower place. We're more like 45. So, and that has to do with the consistency of your thick and thin, because if it's thicker, it's going to take a little more twist, and if it's thinner, it doesn't take as much as many revolutions of the wheel to get what you want. So this area here is a little bit underplied. The single was not as tight as it could have been, but I think this is going to work out just fine. And that was the very beginning. We were just sort of trying to dial in what thickness did we want our yarn. So there is a little variation in the very beginning, but that should all go away. All right. I guess I should say there's a little variation at the end, huh? Because this is the end, not the beginning. But this is more like what we're looking at right here. And let's see what we got. Oh, I forgot to turn it back on. That's the only other thing you have to remember. Turn it back on. Yeah, I like this. Let's see what we got here. So this is 15. So this is 15. So I think I want maybe just a little bit more. So the things that I can do to put a little more twist in this is, one, if I leave it where it is, I can treadle faster. Two, I can change my ratio so that I can treadle the same pace that I like to treadle, that's always comfortable for me, and have the twist come in faster. The other thing is I can lower the resistance so that it doesn't pull onto the wheel as fast. So I am going to lower this down to the smaller whirl, and that's going to give me more revolutions of the flyer per revolution of the wheel. And I'm going to take a little of my tension off so it doesn't wind on quite as fast. And let's see if that will be the answer that I'm looking for here. The only thing that I think I need to do is change my tension a little bit on my flyer, because I'm watching all this sagginess here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wind this on just a touch here and hold it for a second. There's another adjustment that I can make on my wheel because this is kind of loose and springy. There's a thumb screw, a big thumb screw right here. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit more tension on this. I don't want it to be tight, just a little bit more, just so it's not so, I'm afraid it's going to fly off my wheel if I treadle with it like that. So we're going to turn this back on and we'll be back in business again, and let's see if we get this underway. There we go. That's better. And I'm going to just continue treadling at my same pace. And we're going to see, oh, here's a good black and white section. So I haven't changed anything other than those things. And now I love the way that looks. I hope this sun isn't ruining everything. And that one is 30, right at 30. So I like it. So I think we're pretty dialed in at this point. And our fiber is looking nice and consistent. So this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, which is if my singles don't have enough energy in them, when I ply them together, I'm going to get those like floofy spots. But if it's really underplied, I'm going to have spots that are literally, they're going to fall apart when you try to use the yarn or set, because there's not enough twist to hold it together. So the singles, you want to have enough energy in them. That's why I always do the ply back test. And if I have too much energy, or if I have one single that's really low and the other single that's normal, I'm going to get a unbalanced yarn. And no matter how hard I try to get everything to be consistent and match and treadle at the same speed and dial everything in, it's just never going to be quite right. Oh, here's another good bit. Oh, I love this section. Okay, this is beautiful. Look at that. And my angle of ply is beautiful here. I love this. And then, of course, this is a little bit bigger of a bloop. And I'm not going to try to make that match this, because I want this area to be like that. It's not underplied. It just has that floofier bloop on it. And that is going to give me some really lovely, interesting texture whenever I knit with this. All right, I'm going to continue like this, and then fill up this bobbin, and then we'll be back to do the final yarn here, and we'll take a look at it. Trying to catch a little bit of the fading daylight here, but it is a beautiful sunset. I don't know if you can appreciate all the pink up there. The pink clouds. It's a really pretty day. First day it's not absolutely frigid. Here is our final yarn. Oh, I love this. Look at how soft this is. It's really, really soft. And it ended up giving me actually about a worsted weight here is what we have. Some of this stuff is a little thicker, where I had the fluff from the locks. But it's very, very soft and compressible. Oh my gosh, this is so soft. I wish that you could have touch-o-vision for this one. It is just divine, just wonderful. But for the most part here, this is giving me a worsted weight yarn, and it just turned out so nice. Whoever bought the Joy Art Batt, it's gonna look very similar to this, and maybe slightly lighter in color. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll have a link to my shop at the end, and I will see you guys next time. We'll spin up that hackle blend we did last week. Have a great week. Until next time, spin happy.